Hello, folks. If you're watching this later, hi. No one else is here yet because I just turned it on. So I can say hi to you, anyone who might actually tune in and check this out later. I'm going to, I'm going to wonder how my lighting is. I usually look super washed out. Tonight it looks kind of dark. A little bit. But then again, I don't look like a piece of paper tonight. So I think I'll just leave it. I think someone's here. Or is that you, Sarah?
No.
Ah, excellent. Cool. Well, people are just kind of starting to log on. If you're here, please, if you're able to access the chat box, please say hi. Chat box. But if you're logged into YouTube, then you should be able to access the chat box. If you're just watching this through some other app, bringing up YouTube, maybe not. But if you log into your YouTube account, you should say hi and access the chat box. And if that's the case, please say hello. And now it says no one's in the room. My word. Let's see. This is doing a mirror thing. I'm not sure how to do that. Yeah. It's looking good so far. There's a lot more to do. A lot. So one of the things I want to encourage you all to do is to absolutely contact your 2 senators and your 1 representative in DC or your local state numbers, whatever. But contact your representative and your 2 senators and demand that Congress expand the courts on every level because it's legal and they need to be, and we need to overcome the Trump stacking of the courts. Hey, Julie. Hi, welcome. Just talking about how we need to expand the courts, not just the Supreme Court. And there's a commission, I guess, being created to look into that, which is super good and super important. And the Supreme Court, obviously, but the other courts as well. It's also possible to recall or impeach one of those, the judges that Trump appointed to lifetime positions. That would take a whole lot of backbone, which Democrats in DC are not known for. But it's possible, and I would love to see that happen. So I would love to see all of you, everyone possible that hears this, sees this, to please contact your representative and 2 senators and demand that they expand the courts and recall the judges that Trump appointed, because it's a doable thing. How about our Congress critters? So Sarah's over there on the couch and Congress critters, which at first I thought must have been a typo or like a talk to text mishap, but then she thought, well, maybe they didn't want to say Congress person and they didn't want to be gender specific. So critters good. Critters got to be PC, right? Who could be offended by being called a critter or calling anyone a critter? I mean, it's not insulting. It's cute. It's cute, right? You can call me a critter anytime you want. If any of you feel like typing in here or referencing me in any way publicly ever, and you want to call me a critter, I will just smile and feel a little warm in my heart because that's cute. So, all right, 2 people back in the room. That must be Julie and Sarah. And I don't know if YouTube is actually totally accurate when it has a little, like, 2 little people, like one, the icon that it shows you is like, it's like someone's looking over someone's shoulder, and then right now there's a number 2 next to it. Like there's 2 people on right now, which makes sense because we got Julie and Sarah here. And I don't know if that's just I don't think you can, I don't know if there's a way to make yourself invisible. So that may be accurate. I don't know. But it's funny that it's like the little people icon is it's not like a couple of people hanging out. It's like one's looking over the other person's shoulder. Like, what are you watching on YouTube right now? Oh, that looks interesting. I'm just gonna be a creeper, and not a critter, a creeper, and look over your shoulder, whatever you're doing. So yeah, and maybe it's 2 people sitting on a couch and they're cuddling. Maybe they're cuddling critters. The icon for how many people are viewing your live streams on YouTube is actually cuddling critters. We'll go with that. What? Oh yeah, of course only I can see that. So if you ever do a live stream, you'll see it's like a little icon of how many people are on with a number next to it. So Julie, what's new with you? I was saying that I feel more hopeful about American politics than I have since Obama's first inauguration. because I certainly wasn't too happy with him in the second. And I voted for him twice, but I wasn't so hopeful the second time around because he had not been very inspiring the first 4 years. Basically, trying to like kiss Republicans' ass for with absolutely no benefit, instead of just standing up and fighting for the people. So I don't know. And he's a smart guy. I just heard today on Rachel Maddow, she was talking about how um, when the Republicans kept demanding all these changes to the healthcare bill, and he finally called Chuck Grassley in his office and said, "Okay, these 5 new things you want, if Max Baucus does that, then will you vote for the bill?" And Grassley admitted that no. He looked him in the eye and said, "I guess not." So Republicans aren't going to do the right thing ever. Like it's just not going to happen. Compromising with the enemy, the enemy of the American people. I mean, it makes no sense. There's no benefit to compromising if you don't have to. And right now, the Democrats don't have to when it comes to reconciliation, and they can get 2 big things done. And after that, I mean, they basically have to keep Sinema and Manchin in line somehow. They need to embarrass them into doing the right thing for the people, which may be a little bit easier than embarrassing Republicans into doing the right thing for the people. But they have to basically try and embarrass Republicans into doing the right thing for the people for the next 2 years, at least, with the numbers being the way they are. But because of reconciliation, Biden get a couple things done, and yeah. Julie says, "Yes, I'm hopeful." Yay, good. Thanks for being here, Julie. Especially for the environment. Yeah, shutting down Keystone was awesome. We're still hoping that they shut down the DAPL. I haven't had any updates on that, but I think I heard that Trudeau in Canada was like unhappy about shutting down Keystone. I mean, whatever. Like, it wasn't going to do anything for us. It was just going to make Canada a bunch of money selling oil. And Trudeau should be an environmentalist. I mean, I feel like Canadians should be more in touch with nature because, like, I don't know, they probably get snowed in more. They probably have more forest, like less dense population, or less total population. They should have a better appreciation for nature. And plus, Canadians are nicer in general. I mean, I feel like the Prime Minister of Canada should always, Prime Minister, right? Not President? Whatever. I feel like they should always be on the environmental side of things, but apparently he's somewhat on the corporate side of things. Anyway, screw that. Good job, Biden, for axing the the Keystone Pipeline and the border wall. Apparently, they just pulled the plug on it. So there was like all this talk about the border wall going through like butterfly sanctuaries and like being an environmental hazard and like ruining people's properties, like cutting right through. So I hope they don't just stop, working on it. I hope they actually like take it down anywhere that it was new. If they made parts taller that already existed, whatever, who cares? But I hope they get rid of all of the parts that were built that are problematic. Yeah. So, impeachment happening soon, starting Monday, I guess. Whether or not Trump can find any lawyers willing to be his minions, it's happening, starting Monday. I don't know how many days it's going to go. There's like one charge and lots of evidence, but everyone's seen it. So I'm curious. I think I have to just get up super early to watch it all day. A lot more things. I mean, I'm glad they impeached him a year ago, but they did a crappy job of it. I mean, they should have been successful. Obviously, the Republicans were never going to vote to convict him at that point, and maybe at this point. But they should have brought him up on more charges and just a better all-around case a year ago. This time around, everything they could throw in there related to the insurrection, good. There's certainly a case to be made. Rachel Maddow was just covering how the organizers, the people who got permits for the rally, did not plan a march and did not get permits for a march to the Capitol. I don't know. I guess you could maybe get permits to walk down any street, but that was all Trump and his people. That was all just literally like instigating an insurrection. So will they get, what do they need? 10 Republicans, right? No, 2/3. They need 16, 17 Republicans. I think 17 Republicans to actually convict. If they're all there, there's the other nuance that they only need 2/3 of who's there. So if enough Republicans just stay the fuck home when it comes down to voting for a conviction, you could get 2/3 just by having all the Democrats vote convict and not having enough Republicans there to overturn that. So we'll see what happens with that. What else is going on? The stock market's happening in new ways and weird ways and cool ways and revolutionary ways and unpredictable ways. Been following that pretty closely. That would be super boring for people to talk about, but it's been very interesting. The one thing, even if you're not interested in finances or stock markets or anything like that, it's been fascinating to watch Robinhood under that name screw over their investors and protect the big hedge funds. And they're claiming that they have to, and it's whatever in their contracts. If that turns out to be true, crappy, unfair contracts. And if it doesn't turn out to be true, then crappy, unfair owner of Robinhood. They may just end up getting sued to oblivion and going away. And, you know, the head guy probably is just going to have millions of dollars to live on and not care. But I really hope they're held accountable. I mean, they're already being held accountable. A lot of people are quitting Robinhood, closing their accounts. So that's good. I will never open a Robinhood account. I've never had one, and I'm for like half the time. So yay. I did have a backup plan, but guess we're okay. I did ask all my roommates to not probably the number one difference. So I should probably keep doing that. But how are you feeling brighter about American politics? The inauguration? I mean, the speech was good. Kamala's in the House. And I mean, wow, like the most important vice president I've ever heard of the Democrats having. There may have been other pivotal times for the Democrats to have a vice president. I don't know when the last time the Senate was split 50-50, but yeah, big deal, big deal. What she's going to be able to do to be a tie-breaking vote, assuming they can keep Manchin and Sinema acting like Democrats, which is pretty dicey. When Obama was president, they said they like to say that they had the majority, but they didn't, because they had this asshole Joe Lieberman, who's basically a right-wing Republican pretending to be Democrat. And so Obama never really had the power that they like to say he did. But he also didn't have much of a spine and didn't do much fighting in public, like standing up and pointing the finger and things he should have done. He should have been a fearless leader, fighting for us and embarrassing the other side. Well, he didn't. But there's also a lot of things he couldn't do because he never really had a full support of a Senate and House. So, a lot of politics, stock market. I hope you guys are doing all right out there in terms of COVID. I know it's only gotten worse and crazier and harder to avoid. I'm doing a KN95 mask with a cloth mask everywhere I go, and a face shield as well. Because if you have a KN95 mask, it's a lot better than a cloth mask. If you have a KN95 mask covered with a cloth mask, it's even better. And if you have a face shield or goggles, then you're protecting your eyes. So you're much less likely to be touching your face if you're shopping and you happen to touch where someone coughed or touched with COVID. You're probably not going to be touching your own eyes with a face shield on, because it kind of reminds you. So please take every precaution out there, people. I have loved ones now who have contracted it and thankfully fought it off well and quickly. And some of them have loved ones who are having a harder time of it. I'm sure, I don't know if this is true, but I'd be surprised if the majority of Americans at this point don't know someone who's had a case of it, an unpleasant case of it. I mean, a lot of people have had it, not known it. A lot of people get it and don't have that bad of a case, but it's certainly hard to avoid. So I hope that, I've been wishing that ever since it started, that, well, ever since it became clear that it's as serious as it is, and it became clear that shutdown is necessary. And in the beginning, we all thought it was a 2-week thing. There's something going around. Well, ever since it became clear that it is a worldwide pandemic that you should take seriously as hell, I've been wishing that they would do a real shutdown like they did in New Zealand, South Korea, and certain places where they had leadership. We didn't. We don't. But it would be nice if we actually did at any point. And, I don't think Biden's going to do this, but I think it would be the right thing to do to have a real legitimate shutdown. Or if you want to get rid of the thing, like completely everything for a month or so, and have universal testing and tracing. But without those 3 things, without a real shutdown and universal testing and tracing, there's no way to contain anything. So the next best thing is that we all be really responsible and take our masks everywhere. Two masks, and ideally a face shield or goggles as well. So keep doing what you got to do to stay healthy, people. I think Julie may have exited.
No, I exited.
Oh, okay, Julie, hi. You're still here, Julie. Sarah says she exited. Someone's calling me, but I don't think it's about the show. But I'll check my text messages. Julie, if there's anything that you want to chat about, feel free to call me and I can put you on speaker. Or if there's anything you want to type about in terms of subjects, come here. We got Batman the super kitty. Come here, buddy. Hi. Come say hi. Come here. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Okay. This is Batman saying hello. His eyes look really pretty in the camera, don't they? Hi. Hi, Lisa. This is nearby, too. Take vitamin C, says Julie. Absolutely. Yeah, good reminder. I need to take C and D today. I haven't done that. So important. What?
You had an orange.
I did have an orange.
You went outside.
I was outside very briefly. I don't know if the camera's actually picking up Sarah, but she's just the peanut gallery in the background. Batman. Julie says hi. Lisa, come here. Come here. Julie, want to see Lisa? I'll bring Lisa up to the camera. Come here. Up. Come here. Lisa, come. Hey, come. Up. Up. Come here. Up. Severus is around somewhere and Emma's around somewhere. So, seeing if no text messages. What else is happening? Shows, movies. I haven't seen anything breathtaking and amazing new. Although we did watch The Informer from Redbox, and that was actually pretty good. I'm very particular with movies, so I did approve of it. Julie says, "Hey Lisa, between future, please be as politically, civically engaged as you can. Again, please reach out to your 2 representatives and your senator and demand that Congress expand the courts on every level, expand the judgeships, add judges. They need to hear from us. They need to know that we're paying attention. And we need to just be active. I mean, we need to get the Voting Rights Act intact. We need Congress to do everything possible to protect voting rights, as Republicans around the country in various states are trying to pass laws now to oppress voters even more and try and undo progress that has been made and keep people from voting who turned out and voted and with good results this time around. There's a lot that Congress needs to do, and they need to be absolutely fierce. They need to take no prisoners. They need to just run all over the Republicans and not give a shit about any whimpers, because the Republicans aren't here to look out for the American people, and the Democrats, most of them are. And the policies that need to be passed, they're not going to be. They can't be bipartisan if they're going to be the best they can be, because they're the traitorous politicians on the Republican side are going to agree to what really needs doing. Julie, are you back? Someone is in the room. I wish it showed me like who popped up. It only shows me when someone types in the chat box. It doesn't tell me like who's here. It just tells me that people are here. At any rate, I guess I shall sign off. We have lots going on, and the parts that we can be involved with, let's be involved. Let's reach out to our representatives and make our demands known. Oh, yeah, Julie's back. Hi, Julie. Let them know what you want and call them. Something I read recently was saying that online activity doesn't really amount to that much, but writing them does and calling them does. And calling them, twice a day, 10 times a day, the more the better. That registers. It doesn't matter if they get sick of you. That what I was reading said that the interns switch over every 6 weeks or so anyway. So, don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. Reach out to your elected representatives and tell them what you need. Right now we have, for the first time in so long, we have a Congress that can get things done. It's going to be hard after reconciliation to get things done. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but some of what they'll have to do is come up with really good legislation and then try and embarrass the hell out of Republicans publicly to get some support. And I also hope that they're able to expel some Republicans from the Senate and the House for their parts in the insurrection, because there are certainly Republican members of the House and Senate that had parts to do with parts played in the insurrection, and they should be held accountable. And if we can get rid of them, great. Who they're replaced with, what party, that's going to depend on governors in those states, but getting rid of some of the household name traitors in the Republican Party, the worst of the worst, and that'd be at least a step in the right direction. And then hopefully that would make for an easier race for the next election, next time around, when a Democrat is trying to take a seat. And honestly, like, Texas is doable. Beto came pretty close. It is possible. And if Georgia could do it, Texas can do it. Julie says, are you hearing anything from Dems on Medicare for all? I have not. No, I haven't. I know they're working on the 1.9 trillion COVID relief. Yeah, absolutely. No, it'd be great. I would be so stoked if Medicare for all was on the table. I don't know that would be. Could they work that into budget reconciliation? Maybe. It'd be budget related. Be great. The more I hear about the Affordable Care Act and how it all happened, the more it's such a missed opportunity that Obama and the Democrats bent over backwards and kissed Republican ass and made the bill a pathetic fraction of what it could have been. And then the Republicans voted against it anyway. But Medicare for all is absolutely necessary, and contact your representatives. Tell them you want it. Tell them you want it now. They have 2 years that we are guaranteed to at least have a split Senate, with Kamala being the queen with the gavel to make shit happen. Some things require, please tell your senators to repeal the filibuster. Get rid of the filibuster. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. The only way we're going to really right this ship in a significant number of ways possible is to expand the courts, get rid of the filibuster, and things like Medicare for all, and every single thing that we need to get done will be much more doable. And then it just becomes again about keeping the Democrats on the same page and getting people like Manchin and Sinema from is it West Virginia and Arizona to actually serve their people and not act like Republicans. Yeah, so I'm glad I thought of that, because it's so super important. And include it. Contact your representatives. Get rid of the filibuster. Bring us Medicare for all. And expand the courts immediately. All right. So thank you. Julie says exactly. Well, I guess I'm gonna go watch the rest of Rachel Maddow. I had it kind of delayed on the DVR, and some Lawrence O'Donnell, and maybe I'll see you guys again sometime. When I do these, I make Facebook event pages, and I also create them on the channel here ahead of time, which I think if you come to this YouTube channel, you can probably see when there's a scheduled live stream. I schedule these ahead of time, so you can check if you want if you're connected to me on Facebook or not, but you want to look me up on Facebook, you don't even have to add me, but you can look at my page is pretty public. I make event pages, and when I'm going to do one of these, I make the event page and I share it like every day, starting at least a few days before, and it's always Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Oh, Sarah's back to say bye. Thanks, Sarah. Sarah says bye, and then I'll walk over there and sit on the other couch and wave at her and say hi. All right, big hugs to everyone. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay careful, and stay engaged. All right, much love to you. Good night.